April 7th, 1945. The sky over the Pacific is a vast expanse of blue. Lieutenant Colonel James L. G. Edwards tightens his grip on the yoke, the hum of the Packard Merlin engine reverberating in his bones. Beneath the canopy, the ocean stretches out like a glittering sheet of glass, but the task ahead is far from serene. The formation of 96 P-51 Mustangs, sleek and silver, slices through the air in tight formation, their engines singing a steady rhythm. They are about to embark on a mission that will stretch their limits, an operation so audacious it's considered impossible by many. The target is Tokyo, Japan, the mission to escort a fleet of B-29 bombers, ensuring their safe passage through the skies and back. But this is no ordinary escort. The Mustangs, equipped with newly developed drop tanks, are about to fly a distance no fighter plane was ever expected to cover in one go. They will travel 750 miles from their base on Iwo Jima across open ocean through enemy airspace to provide crucial protection for the bombers. In a war where range and fuel have often dictated the course of air combat, this mission represents a breakthrough. Edwards' mind races as he looks over his instruments. The drop tanks attached to the wing pylons are full enough fuel to get them to Tokyo and back, but no room for error. These tanks are the game changer, allowing the P-51 seconds to travel long distances without sacrificing performance. They're the key to making this mission a reality, but they also present a significant risk. If anything goes wrong, there will be no turning back. There's no safety net when you're this far from home, and the Japanese defenses are strong. The formation flies in tight formation, their shadows casting over the ocean below a line of gleaming silver, stretching out in perfect symmetry. The sounds of the engines meld into a steady hum, cutting through the tension in the cockpit. Edwards can hear his breath quicken as they pass over Iwo Jima, the base fading into the distance beneath them. This is it, no turning back now. The pilots are fully aware of the stakes. This mission isn't just about delivering a payload or securing a bombing run. It's about proving a new capability, one that could change the very nature of air combat. These Mustangs, often regarded as the best fighters of the war, are now more than just a threat to enemy bombers. They are a symbol of the growing American technological advantage in the Pacific theater. The Japanese forces, who once held air superiority, are about to face a challenge they could not have imagined. As the formation flies deeper into enemy territory, the tension rises. Edwards scans the horizon, eyes constantly moving from the sky to his instruments, every second feeling like an eternity. It's not just the distance that weighs on him, it's the knowledge that the Japanese will be waiting for them. The Zero fighters, once the kings of the Pacific skies, are still a formidable threat. Yet Edwards knows that the P-51 seconds have an edge. They are faster, more maneuverable, and more heavily armed than anything the Japanese can throw at them. But those advantages won't matter if the Mustangs don't make it to Tokyo in the first place. The sky is clear as far as the eye can see, but the pilots know better than to assume the calm will last. They're heading straight into the heart of enemy territory with no room for error. The B-29 seconds rely on the P-51 seconds for protection. They're flying unescorted into one of the most heavily defended areas in the world. If the Mustangs fail, the bombers will be easy prey for the Japanese interceptors. Edwards knows the weight of the responsibility resting on his shoulders. As they approach the halfway point, fatigue begins to set in. The Mustangs have been flying for hours, their engines rumbling relentlessly beneath them. The pilots exchange terse radio messages, each one reminding themselves and their fellow flyers of the stakes. They are crossing a threshold of possibility. This mission will either prove that American innovation can overcome any obstacle, or it will show that the limits of technology are unbreakable. There's no in-between. They are all in, and the outcome of this mission will shape the final months of the Pacific War. The drop tanks, once full, are beginning to deplete their fuel supply, dwindling as the Mustangs eat up the miles. Each pilot is aware of the critical moment ahead. When the tanks run dry, they'll have only enough fuel to make it back if everything goes according to plan. There will be no reserve, no room for error. If the weather turns, if the Japanese interceptors make their move, if anything goes wrong, there won't be enough fuel to make it home. But still they press on. The B-29 seconds have reached the target area over Tokyo, and the Mustangs begin to form up around them, their role now clear. This isn't just an escort. This is a statement, a demonstration of the power and reach of American technology. The P-51 Mustangs are proving that range, speed, and firepower can combine in a way that shatters the tactical expectations of their enemies. The fighters begin their patrols around the B-29 seconds, their engines roaring with a new sense of purpose. The Japanese are about to learn what it feels like to be outclassed in the skies. The Mustangs have proved their range, and now they will prove their firepower. The roar of the engines grows louder, the Mustangs beginning to make their turn back toward Iwo Jima, their mission accomplished. But as they turn away from Tokyo, it's clear that the battle is far from over. What was once considered impossible is now a proven fact. The P-51 Mustang, with the power of American innovation and industry behind it, has broken through the limits of air combat. As the Mustangs bank and head back home, Edwards allows himself a brief moment of reflection. They've done it. The American fighter has flown across an ocean, provided cover to the bombers, and proven itself capable of achieving the impossible. The road ahead will still be fraught with challenges, but for today they've won a decisive victory not just against the enemy, but against the limits of what was once thought achievable in the skies. April 7, 1945. Tokyo, Japan. The morning air is thick with anticipation. Lieutenant Saburo Sakai, one of Japan's top aces, adjusts his gloves as he sits in the cockpit of his Mitsubishi, a 6M0. His mind is focused on the task ahead. His squadron has been scrambled for what is expected to be another routine defense against American bombers. But today feels different. The air is tense, charged with the possibility of something far more significant. Sakai's eyes flicker over his instruments as he checks the readiness of his plane, his mind still pondering the radio messages from earlier. There have been whispers, murmurs across the command chain about strange reports. The enemy might be different today, stronger than expected. The distant rumble of engines grows louder. Sakai's eyes narrow as he looks up to the sky. The familiar outlines of American B-29 bombers come into view. It's not the first time they've been targeted, but this time there's something new. A formation of P-51 Mustangs, American fighters are seen flying alongside them. The Mustangs aren't just escorting the bombers, they're far from their base. Sakai's stomach tightens. These Mustangs aren't where they should be, on the fringes of enemy territory. They've crossed hundreds of miles to reach this point, far beyond what he thought was possible for any Allied fighter. It's clear now this isn't just a raid, it's a statement. The Mustangs have crossed the Pacific, and they are here flying high above Tokyo, ready to strike down any Japanese fighters that dare to interfere. Sakai and his fellow pilots can hardly believe their eyes. The American P-51 seconds, sleek and silver, seem to float effortlessly across the sky, a near-perfect contrast to the aging Zeros. With the P-51 seconds' larger engines and longer range, they no longer have the limitations that once confined Allied fighters to short-range missions. The Zero pilots, skilled and battle-hardened, have always relied on their aircraft's agility and speed, but now for the first time they face an adversary that can match them in both speed and firepower. The P-51's 8.50 caliber machine guns make it a terrifying presence in the sky. Even the Zero, the legendary fighter of the Pacific, is now outmatched. Sakai's thoughts are interrupted as the first Mustang formation opens fire on a nearby group of incoming Zeros. The sheer force of the attack knocks a Japanese fighter from the sky, the fuselage bursting into a fiery ball of destruction. It's clear that the Mustangs are not here to play by the same rules the Japanese had been used to. They're here to overwhelm, to dominate. The Zeros dive into the fray, desperate to engage the new threat, but every maneuver is met with a ruthless counter from the Mustangs. One by one they are picked off, unable to break the superior range, firepower and speed of the P-51 seconds. Sakai pulls hard on the stick, twisting his Zero into a sharp bank, hoping to evade the attention of one of the Mustangs closing in on him. He knows that even his skilled maneuvers won't be enough against a fighter that can turn the tables in an instant. With the P-51 seconds relentlessly engaging the Japanese fighters, the Zeros begin to break formation, scattering in the face of the new threat. The psychological toll is immediate. The morale of the Japanese pilots, once bolstered by their superiority in the air, begins to erode. The Mustang's presence represents something Japan hasn't encountered before, a fighter that can range farther than their own, hit harder and return fire with deadly precision. Sakai fights through the chaos, his mind racing. It's clear now this isn't just a tactical shift. The arrival of the Mustangs signifies a profound change in the war. The Americans are no longer just a nuisance. They are playing a different game, and they've come to stay. The Zero was once considered the top dog in the Pacific. Now the P-51 Mustang has come to claim that title. The dogfight continues, but the balance of power has shifted. The Zero pilots are scrambling, but their efforts feel futile. Even as they twist and turn through the sky, trying to outmaneuver the relentless Mustangs, they are outmatched at every turn. Sakai, a seasoned veteran, realizes that the game has changed perhaps forever. The Mustangs are here to stay, and the days of Japanese air superiority are quickly slipping away. From the cockpit of his Zero, Sakai looks back toward Tokyo, knowing that despite their best efforts, Japan's air defense is now facing an existential threat from the skies. The psychological shock of seeing the Mustangs so far from their home base, so far from their expected range, is something no one could have anticipated. The Americans are proving that their industrial power and technological edge are now on full display in the Pacific skies. The result is clear. The P-51 Mustang, once a distant threat, is now an undeniable force. The Japanese pilots, once able to hold their own in the air, are learning a harsh lesson. They are no longer the kings of the Pacific sky. That title now belongs to the P-51 Mustang. April 7, 1945, over Tokyo. The city, still scarred from repeated bombing raids, now braces for another assault, but this time things are different. The sky above is filled with the unmistakable roar of engines, but it's not the usual sound of B-29 bombers lumbering toward their target. This time the air is alive with the hum of P-51 Mustangs, their sleek frames darting through the sky like predators. Their presence is a clear signal the Americans are no longer simply pushing back Japan's borders. They are now striking at the heart of the empire itself. Lieutenant Colonel James L.G. Edwards' Mustang flies in tight formation with his fellow pilots, all eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of the Japanese interceptors. Behind them, the B-29 bombers are steady, vulnerable, but now protected by the wings of the Mustang squadron. The P-51 seconds are doing more than just defending. They are engaging the enemy head-on, their engines a constant reminder of the shift in power. The Zeros, once the dominant fighter in the Pacific, now seem out of place, frantic and disorganized in the face of the P-51's superiority. Edwards knows that this battle is about more than just tactical advantage. It's about proving that American innovation can break through the limitations of warfare itself. As his Mustang slices through the air, he feels the power of the Packard Merlin engine beneath him. The machine's thunderous roar, a reminder of the technological edge the Americans now hold. The Mustangs are equipped with a devastating arsenal, 8 .50 caliber machine guns, capable of shredding any enemy aircraft that crosses their path, and they are proving their worth. Out of the corner of his eye, Edwards spots a Japanese Zero diving toward the formation. Without a moment's hesitation, he jerks the control stick, banking sharply to intercept the oncoming threat. The Mustang responds instantly, its agility, defying the expectations of enemy pilots who have long thought themselves superior in their nimble Zeros. Edwards lines up his target, squeezes the trigger, and the Mustang's guns erupt in a hail of fire. The Zero is torn apart mid-dive, its fuselage exploding in a burst of flames that lights up the sky. The Zeros are undeterred for a moment, regrouping and charging again, but they can't keep up with the sheer firepower and range of the Mustangs. The American fighters are everywhere, a constant barrage of speed and aggression. The Zero pilots, accustomed to their quick and nimble aircraft, are now forced into a defensive position, struggling to adapt to the P-51 seconds' superior range, speed and armament. The balance of power in the air has tilted decisively in favor of the Americans. As Edwards continues to engage, he sees another Mustang pilot on his tail, a brief flash of silver as they break away from the formation. The sky is alive with the dance of aerial combat, with Mustangs and Zeros weaving and diving in a deadly contest of wits and skill. The Japanese pilots, despite their courage and experience, are outclassed. Their Zeros, once the feared guardians of Japan's skies, are no match for the new generation of American fighters that have come to dominate the air. The battle rages on, as the Mustangs continue to push forward, keeping the Japanese at bay. Each Mustang pilot is fully aware of the stakes. They are not just fighting for their lives or their country, they are fighting to secure the future of air warfare itself. With every enemy plane they destroy, the Mustangs are not only ensuring the safety of the B-29 but also sending a powerful message to Japan: the tide has turned. America's industrial might, coupled with cutting-edge technology, has overcome every obstacle the Japanese had once relied on to maintain their air superiority. As the battle intensifies, the Japanese realize that their best efforts are in vain. The Zeros, no matter how skilled their pilots, simply cannot outpace the P-51. They can no longer rely on their speed or maneuverability to gain the upper hand. The Mustangs are not just faster, they are better armed, better engineered, and capable of flying farther, harder, and faster than anything Japan has been able to field. The Zeros are being picked off one by one, their pilots scrambling to evade the relentless onslaught from above. Sakai, watching the carnage unfold from the cockpit of his Zero, feels the weight of defeat settling over him. The P-51 are everywhere, too fast, too strong, too numerous. What once seemed like an impossible task, the idea of engaging the Mustangs in combat, is now a grim reality. The American fighters are not just surviving, they are dominating, showing no signs of slowing down. With the Japanese fighters in full retreat, the Mustangs tighten their formation around the B-29, completing their mission. Edwards takes a moment to glance back at the bombers they've been tasked to protect. The B-29 are making their way toward the heart of Tokyo unscathed and unmolested by the enemy. The Mustangs have done their job. They've not only proven their range and firepower, but have also established once and for all that the Japanese no longer hold the skies. As the final shots echo through the air, the Mustangs circle above Tokyo, the battle now over. The Zeros are nowhere to be seen, their pilots retreating, their morale shattered. The once feared Japanese air forces are left scrambling in the wake of the P-51's dominance. The skies over Tokyo, once a place of terror for the Allies, are now firmly in American hands. The Mustang has not just escorted the bombers, it has shattered. Japan's air defenses dealt a crippling blow to their fighters and ensured that the final months of the Pacific War would be defined by American aerial supremacy. April 7, 1945. Tokyo, Japan. The B-29, now clear of the immediate danger, continue their bombing run. The roar of their engines fades into the background as the sound of Mustang engines rises above the chaos. The Mustangs, their mission now complete, begin to circle back over the city, scanning the sky for any remaining threats. The moment of tension, the heart-stopping uncertainty that had gripped the pilots for hours, begins to ease. The B-29 have reached their target and are delivering their payload unmolested by Japanese fighters. The skies over Tokyo are no longer the domain of the enemy. Lieutenant Colonel James L. G. Edwards' Mustang soars high above the city, the weight of the mission sinking in. They have done it. The American fighters, equipped with drop tanks, have completed a mission that was once thought impossible. They have crossed an ocean, entered Japan's most heavily defended airspace, and ensured the safety of the B-29 bombers. In the process, they've shattered Japan's remaining air defenses and demonstrated the unyielding power of American technology and innovation. The feeling of accomplishment is hard to describe. There's a strange mix of exhaustion and triumph, a sense of having defied the odds. The distance, the danger, the uncertainty, all of it seems to fade into the background as Edwards glances at his instruments. The fuel levels are low, but they have enough to return home. The Mustang has proven its worth. In these final months of the war, it has become more than just an aircraft. It is a symbol of American resolve and industrial might. As the formation of Mustangs begins their long return flight to Iwo Jima, Edwards takes a moment to reflect on the enormity of what they have achieved. The technological advances that made this mission possible, the drop tanks, the Packard Merlin engines, the superior firepower, have all come together in a way that has redefined the course of the war. The P-51 Mustang, once just another fighter, has proven itself to be one of the most formidable machines ever to take to the sky. Its ability to fly long distances, its unmatched speed, and its devastating firepower have all combined to give the Allies an undeniable edge in the Pacific. For the pilots, it's not just about the technical achievements, it's about the psychological impact of the mission. The appearance of the Mustangs over Tokyo so far from their home base has dealt a blow to Japan's morale that will resonate long after the mission ends. The Japanese had believed that their airspace was secure. They had relied on the Zero, the most advanced fighter in their arsenal, to defend their skies. But the P-51 seconds, with their unmatched range and firepower, have proven that the game has changed. The days of Japanese air superiority are over. The Mustangs have shown that the Americans can reach them anywhere at any time. As the Mustangs near Iwo Jima, Edwards feels a sense of relief. Relief that they've survived, that they've proven what they set out to prove. The mission has been a success in every sense. The B-29 seconds have returned safely, and the P-51 seconds have demonstrated their superiority. But even as they approach their base, Edwards knows that this victory is only a part of a larger story. The war is far from over, but the Mustang's role in the Pacific conflict has been cemented. It will be remembered not just for its firepower, but for its ability to change the very nature of air combat. For the Japanese, the shock of the P-51's presence over Tokyo will linger. They had fought long and hard to defend their homeland, but now they are faced with an adversary that is relentless, capable of striking at the heart of their empire with devastating force. The P-51 Mustang has proven that the Americans can reach them anywhere, anytime, and the skies above Japan will never again be the same. As the Mustangs touch down on Iwo Jima, their engines winding down, Edwards steps out of the cockpit, his body aching from the long flight. The mission is complete. The Mustangs have not just escorted the B-29 seconds, they've proven that American technology and strategy can overcome any obstacle. The P-51 Mustang has reshaped the course of the war and redefined the rules of air combat. For the pilots, for the engineers, and for all those who had a hand in its creation, this mission will stand as a testament to what American ingenuity and determination can achieve. The skies over Tokyo, once a fortress, now stand as a reminder of the Mustang's triumph. The mission's success has dealt a blow to Japan's air power, but more importantly, it has sent a message to the world: the Pacific War is drawing to a close. The Japanese, once masters of the skies, now face an enemy that is technologically superior, relentless, and capable of striking at their heart. The P-51 Mustang, a symbol of American industrial might and air superiority, has proven that it is no longer just a fighter. It is a game changer, and the outcome of the war is already being written in the skies above Japan. April 7th, 1945. Over the Pacific Ocean, the Mustang formation, once a tight-knit unit, is now beginning its long journey back to Iwo Jima. The pilots, exhausted but resolute, have just completed a mission that will be remembered for decades to come. The distance they've flown, the enemies they've fought, and the risks they've taken have all culminated in one undeniable truth. The P-51 Mustang is not just a weapon of war, it is a revolutionary force in aerial combat. As the engines hum steadily, Lieutenant Colonel James L. G. Edwards reflects on the enormity of what has been accomplished. This mission, which many thought was impossible, has proven that the Mustang, with its powerful Packard Merlin engine and innovative drop tanks, can overcome the vast distances of the Pacific theater. The technology that had once seemed like an impractical solution, drop tanks that allowed the Mustangs to fly 750 miles in a single stretch, has now proven to be a game-changer. No longer are the American fighters confined to short-range missions. The P-51 seconds can now strike deep into enemy territory, shifting the balance of power in the Pacific. But it's not just the technological advancements that have defined the Mustang's legacy, it's the psychological shift that has occurred. The appearance of the P-51 seconds over Tokyo, far beyond their expected range, has shattered Japan's illusions of invulnerability. For years, the Japanese had relied on the superiority of their Zero fighters and their belief that their airspace was impenetrable. The Mustangs, with their unmatched speed, range, and firepower, have proven otherwise. The psychological blow dealt by the Mustang's presence over Tokyo cannot be overstated. For the Japanese pilots, it was a wake-up call, a stark reminder that the Allies had the ability to strike at the very heart of Japan. The legacy of the P-51 Mustang extends far beyond this single mission. It represents the culmination of American industrial might, engineering, innovation, and military strategy. The Mustang was not just a product of the war, it was a symbol of how the United States could harness its industrial power to overcome any obstacle. The P-51's success in the skies over Japan was a direct result of the collaboration between engineers, manufacturers, and military leaders who refused to accept the limitations of conventional fighter aircraft. What was once considered impossible, long-range, high-speed escorts became a reality that reshaped the course of the Pacific War. As the Mustang pilots touch down on Iwo Jima, their mission complete, they know that their aircraft has achieved more than just tactical success. The P-51 Mustang has become the standard-bearer for American air superiority. It has proven itself capable of taking on the most formidable enemy aircraft and emerging victorious. The Mustang has not only protected the B-29 bombers, but has redefined what a fighter aircraft can do. It is the embodiment of technological advancement, strategic brilliance, and the relentless spirit of American innovation. The impact of the Mustang extends beyond the Pacific theater. As the war in Europe rages on, the P-51 seconds will soon be called upon to provide the same level of dominance in the skies over Germany. The Mustang will become the workhorse of the Allied air forces, escorting bombers deep into enemy territory, providing air superiority in the most dangerous of missions, and ultimately helping to bring the war to a close. Its legacy will continue to grow as it proves itself to be one of the greatest fighters in the history of aviation. The story of the P-51 Mustang is not just about a single aircraft, it is about a shift in the balance of power in the skies. It is a testament to the ability of American industry and military ingenuity to overcome the limitations of war. The Mustang, once a symbol of America's technological prowess, is now a symbol of victory, one that helped pave the way for the end of the war and the beginning of a new era in aerial combat. For the pilots who flew the P-51, the mission over Tokyo was just one chapter in a much larger story. The Mustang's legacy is not defined by any single battle or mission. It is defined by its impact on the course of the war and the technological advancements it represented. As the pilots of the P-51 Mustang look back on their roles in the Pacific War, they can be proud knowing they were part of something far greater than themselves. They were part of a revolution in aerial warfare, and they were part of the story of how America won the skies. In the years to come, the P-51 Mustang will remain a symbol of American ingenuity, determination, and technological superiority. Its legacy will continue to inspire future generations of engineers, pilots, and military strategists, all of whom will look to the Mustang as the gold standard of what is possible when industry, technology, and military power combine to overcome the greatest challenges. The sky over Tokyo, once a fortress of Japanese defenses, now stands as a testament to the Mustang's legacy. In the wake of the Mustang's triumph, Japan's air defense is irrevocably broken, and the path to victory in the Pacific is now clear. The P-51 Mustang has not only changed the course of the war, it has changed the future of aerial combat itself.